Good evening, I'm Taylor Thomas with a CTV News update. It's been 20 years since our region was caught in the deadly grip of the D.C. sniper attacks. 10 people across the DMV were murdered and 5 others seriously injured by gunman John Muhammad and 17-year-old Lee Boy Malvo. The sniper attacks took place over several weeks in the fall of 2002. Mildred Muhammad was separated from John Muhammad when the attack started, living in Prince George's County at the time. She says the relationship was abusive and that she was the intended target.
I left the situation. John came 2 years later looking for me. Law enforcement said that I was the intended target. And the theory was he was killing innocent people to cover up my murder so that he could come in as the grieving father and get custody of our children. Domestic violence and abuse starts at home and it can spill over into the community, which is what happened in my situation.
The snipers were arrested in late October of 2002. Muhammad was executed by the state of Virginia in 2009. Malvo, now 37 years old, remains behind bars. Mildred Muhammad continues to speak out against domestic violence. A toddler is shot in the district over the weekend. Now, Prince George's and Metropolitan Police are teaming up to investigate. According to reports, a 2-year-old boy was found shot early Sunday morning. Officers responded to the scene of a car crash at the intersection of 25th and Q Streets. When police arrived, they found a child suffering from gunshot wounds inside the car. He was rushed to an area hospital. Police say the shooting incident happened here in the county, and they're working with MPD on the case. A pedestrian succumbs to her injuries from a crash back in May. 64-year-old Deborah Garner of District Heights passed away on October 2nd. Garner was attempting to cross Suitland Road near Buford Road back on May 28th. Police are also investigating a pedestrian collision in Lanham that happened on Friday. The victim remains hospitalized in critical but stable condition. Meantime, the Prince George's Planning Department will host a virtual meeting for pedestrians and bicyclists behavioral study. This will take place on Wednesday, October the 19th at 6 p.m. For more information, log on to mncppc.org and scroll down to News Flash to find the link. The Supreme Court, with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson as its newest member, opens its 9-month term today. Jackson is the first Black woman to serve on the court. She was nominated by President Joe Biden to replace retiring Justice Stephen Breyer. Jackson's first case, oral arguments challenging the federal government's authority to regulate wetlands under the Clean Water Act.
You say the question is which wetlands are covered, which I agree with, but I guess my question is why would Congress draw the coverage line between abutting wetlands and neighboring wetlands when the objective of the statute is to ensure the chemical, physical, and biological integrity of the nation's waters?
During this term, the Supreme Court will also hear cases on affirmative action, voting rights, immigration, Native American adoption, and LGBTQ rights. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. A case that could decide if mail-in ballots are counted before Election Day is expedited. More details after the break.
It's the discipline of hard numbers, precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to get messy or just mess it up. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to try. Dare to fail. Dare to keep daring. Dare to learn the difference between organic, sedimentary, and non-foliated metamorphic rock. Get outside, find those rocks. Dare to be homeroom famous, a high school fable. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. And for the love of STEM, dare bigger. Dare to code, dare to invent, dare to explore, dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Welcome back. Police are still searching for two men wanted in connection with a stabbing outside of a Hyattsville restaurant over the weekend. It happened in the 3100 block of Hamilton Street around 11:30 Saturday night. Investigators say the victim approached an off-duty Hyattsville detective who began to render aid. The man was taken to a local hospital where he remains in critical but stable condition. Police say the incident began as an argument inside the restaurant. Then it spilled out onto the street. Anyone with information is asked to contact Hyattsville Police at 301-985-5060. Prince George's police need your help in finding a missing senior. Take a look at your screen right now. This is 63-year-old Zhang Ru Zhen. Police say she was last seen in the 1800 block of Meserat Road on October 1st, around 9 in the evening. She's 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighs about 124 pounds. Police say Ru Zhen was last seen wearing a green jacket, dark-colored pants, and carrying a red purse. Anyone with information about her whereabouts are urged to contact police. The Maryland Court of Appeals pushes up the schedule for arguments challenging a recent decision allowing for the early counting of mail-in ballots. The state's Board of Elections asked the court to expedite a challenge that was filed by Republican gubernatorial hopeful Dan Cox. Cox says the decision to count early should fall on the legislature and governor. Those on both sides of the case have until tomorrow to file their initial briefs. Arguments in the case are expected on Friday. 40% of those released from Maryland prison wind up back behind bars at some point. But the newly formed Prince George's Returning Citizens Division aims to reduce that number and rehabilitate the formerly incarcerated. The division is run by Michael Williams, who says returning citizens need mental health and addiction recovery support, among other things. Williams says it can take time for a returning citizen to get their life in order.
We have individuals who've been incarcerated in state facilities and federal facilities for 20, 30 years. And so it's not easy to just come back and hit the ground running. And so we want to remove some of those barriers. And so we have a number of training programs for life skills and employment skills training. And so that we hope that people will take advantage of those programs and then begin to get into the job market.
To contact the county's Returning Citizens Affairs Division, go to the website on your screen and enter Returning Citizens in the search bar. The University of Maryland names its newest dormitory after two trailblazing students. Just last week, U of MD held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for its newest residence hall called the Johnson-Whittle Hall. The dorm is named after Elaine Johnson Coates, the first Black woman to earn an undergraduate degree at the university back in 1959. It also is named after Hyattsville Whittle, the first Black man enrolled at the school back in 1951. Officials say the 6-story state-of-the-art building opened to students at the beginning of the new academic year.
To be honored and have a building in his name is one thing. Using financial and other resources to erect an edifice and name it after a person is a couple of giant steps up.
Johnson, Coates, and Whittle both recently received an honorary doctorate degree during the spring 2020 U of MD commencement. Coming up, a local team celebrates a big win. Your CTV Sports Report is up next. Stay tuned.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. He asked all his therapists to help him undertake some of the house chores. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
We need to go meet the guys. I'm lit. Can you drive?
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Okay.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different.
All right, the University of Maryland football team came out with a big win this past weekend over its Big Ten Conference opponent, Michigan State. CTV's Simon Buggs has the details.
The Terps came onto the field looking to bounce back from a loss they suffered for the previous week against the University of Michigan, and they definitely did so by beating the Spartans 27-13. A reason for the Terps' dominant win over the Spartans this past weekend was the team's piping hot start to the game. The Terps came out firing on all cylinders, scoring 2 touchdowns on their first 2 possessions in the first quarter by a 15-yard run for a touchdown by Antoine Littleton II, who averaged 6.3 yards a carry during the game, and another touchdown run from Kobe McDonald to put the Terps up 14-7 to end the first quarter. Quarterback Talia Tagovailoa completed 32 of his 41 passing attempts for 314 yards and a touchdown to help his team pull out the win. The Terps also made defensive adjustments during halftime that will cause the Spartans to be shut out in the second half. Coach Loxley talked about the specific adjustments his team made to help them come out on top and seal the deal.
At halftime, they wanted to attack us on in the flat area. We made some adjustments from playing the one high look to getting into some cloud looks, cover 2 looks, which took away the flats. I thought we started pushing the pocket in the quarterback's lap a few times, and I thought for the most part our coverage was really good, compared to how we've done things here the last couple of weeks.
We know we're a very good team, and going to this week, we just really was trying to keep our minds right. As far as not thinking about the last game, putting it to the side, and just working hard for us to be 1-0 this week.
The Bowie State Bulldogs also took the field this weekend as they finished with a blowout win over Livingstone College with a score of 53-7. Bowie State quarterback Dion Galat Jr. had a monster game, completing 32 of his 40 passing attempts for 439 yards and 4 touchdowns. Bowie State currently has a record of 3-2, and hopefully they can carry the momentum from this win on the road as they face off against Virginia State University on Saturday, October 8th.
Thanks, Simon. Let's get a quick check now on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, showers, of course, continuing with the lows around 46 degrees. Tuesday, cloudy, rainy once again with highs near 54 degrees. Wednesday, partly sunny with a chance of rain. Can you believe it? Yet again in the morning commute. Daytime temperatures reaching a high around 66 degrees. Thursday, the sun returns finally with highs around 74 degrees. And now for the community calendar, the Prince George's Planning Board is hosting its annual budget forums. Officials want to hear from residents about the planning budget for the county's next fiscal year, starting July 1st of 2023. The virtual meetings are on Tuesday, October 4th and October 18th, beginning at 7 p.m. Now, for more information or to register to speak, go and visit pgplanningboard.org. And that wraps up our CTV News Update. Join us tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Good night.
Being a father is an honor, a challenge, a duty, a celebration, and a testimony. I want to be legendary for you. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.